The most expensive SH Figuart Dragon Ball Z action figure is here, and the question is it worth the price? Coming in at a whopping $120, we have Premium Bandai's exclusive Metal Cooler from Dragon Ball Z. Now, this figure, I will say right now, is not for your casual collector. This is for the hardcore collectors out there in the community. So if you pick this figure up, consider yourself a hardcore collector. Nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, you should be very proud of yourself because you're able to do that. And if you agree, drop that like. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Now for me, I actually got two! So what does that make me? Does that make me like a super hardcore collector? Or does that make me just like a fanatic? I don't know. Let me tell you something. Metal Cooler, alright, is one of my favorite villains in the Dragon Ball Z line. Or in Dragon Ball Z in general. Do you remember the scene where he fought against Goku and Goku used instant transmission and Metal Cooler was just like, oh, I use that too? You don't remember? Here, let's watch.
It's called instant transmission.
I know. It's one of my favorite techniques.
Your favorites?
I remember seeing this moment for the first time and just busting out laughing because of the reaction from Goku and how much of a badass Metal Cooler was just for reversing that move on him. Such an awesome scene from the movie, one of my favorites, and it actually, that scene alone made me enjoy Metal Cooler so much that, again, I picked up two, right? One to keep sealed for a holy grail because this figure may become a holy grail one day, and then the other to review for you all here today. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what all Metal Cooler is going to come with. Metal Cooler is going to come with a total of 4 different head sculpts, and they all look great as you can see. Personally, I prefer head sculpts over faceplates. I hope we get to a day Tamashii Nations only does head sculpts because it just makes for a better presentation. For the pairs of hands, you are going to be getting a total of 5 pairs of hands, including the closed fist over here. We're going to be getting 2 pairs of feet, his tail, of course, and then we're going to be getting his regenerating arm as well. Yet another awesome scene from the movie. And with that out of the way, folks, let's take a closer look at Metal Cooler. I've been very excited to review this figure outdoors in nature for you all as well as for myself. You know, just seeing the promotional images and with the chrome finish, I just had a feeling this figure was going to look great outside in nature. Now, does this figure have its flaws? Absolutely it does. I mean, right now, I'm unable to stand the figure up on its own because the tail is the support. If I were to lift up the tail, and maybe I can play with it and it would probably stay, but, you know, just for argument's sake and for demonstration purposes, like as you can see, you know, I can lean him forward, and even still, he's not going to stay. So that is one gripe I have with this figure. I think maybe the tail in the back is just, it weighs too much, maybe because of the material that they're used. Let's see, I'm going to try to maneuver it around here and see what we can do. You know, I just don't think it's going to budge, which is unfortunate. Yeah, so that's how you're having to keep him up. You have to hit him with that okay, Michael Jackson, and he'll stand up on his own that way. Now, when it comes to the actual finish of the figure, yeah, I mean, it looks good, right? Look at that. Very clean. I have these gloves on, not that you'll need them. I have mine on because when I was touching the figure, it just felt greasy. Not in a bad way. I'm guessing it's the finish that they use, but it just felt greasy to me. It's not the figure, it's a me thing. Okay, but yeah, this figure does look really good. I like how it alternates from this shiny metal to like a matte finish here, and then back. Just looks really good. I would say the one flaw with this figure is its biggest flaw is that it can't stand up on its own because of the tail in the back. You know, had it not been for that, I mean, shoot, this would be a must-have, right? But again, like I mentioned earlier, it's for the hardcore collectors. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the articulation. So he can look down this much, of course. He can look up this much. Pretty decent. He can lean side to side. Really great motion there in the neck. And then for the arms, he can hit the T-pose, as you can see. They do rotate all the way around. Double jointed elbows. Wrist does rotate. Again, everything that you would expect to have from a Tamashii Nation release. You can cross the arms here with the butterfly joints. Oh! There goes the head. It's very slippery, this figure is. But don't worry, because we will continue. The show must go on, so I'm ready to go. Alright. Now, as you can see, the head is easy to pop on and off. This is a great expression here. You can see. Really nice. Now when it comes to the ab crunch, it's decent. Look at that. You can still tuck in pretty well. And then, oh, there it goes again. Wow. When you go to lean back, you can see it's not too great because you have this hindering here in the back. We just may go through all of the head sculpts during the articulation segment of this review. How about that? So you can see this here. Looks good. He can twist as well. And then for the legs, here's that 90-degree no issue. Double jointed knees. You have your leg swivel as well. Your feet does extend out, and it's popping off pretty easily here. Extends out, go up. You have your ankle rockers as well. You just have to be careful because things are popping off pretty hard. It could be the gloves as well. Let's see how the split looks. Yeah, the split is pretty decent actually. Nice. Okay. And then for the tail in the back, you can go down this much. It is articulated. This does rotate here. Okay, this way. It's just this tail. If they would have used something different, then I feel like it would have been a little bit better. But it still looks so good. Such a beautiful looking figure. It's a shame that its one flaw is like the biggest flaw. Alright. So, that is going to cover it for the articulation. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go and retrieve those head sculpts, and hopefully they're not too bad. Moving into the head sculpt, starting off, we have the two on the left that did pop off. As you can see, the damage was minimum, if any at all, so that tells you the quality of these head sculpts. They all look great, very expressive, and I'm glad we had 4. It could have been less. However, I think a really neat accessory or head sculpt to be included with this release would have been his head sculpt from the movie that is from the Final Form cooler, or his original head that you see in the mechanical room or the engineering room or whatever you want to call it. That head sculpt would have been pretty awesome to have and would have made this release that much better. Now, let's move into the pairs of hands. As mentioned in the beginning, he is going to come with 5 pairs of hands. You have his pointer finger, which is probably the most iconic of the bunch. And then we have the flying feet as well. Very easy to swap out. Lastly, we have the coolest little addition to this release, and that's going to be his regenerating wire hand. That was a complete shock in the movie, of course. And right now, I'm going to show you how to swap that out. So, let me show you. So, I ended up taking off the gloves because there's definitely something on this figure that was making the gloves even more greasy than what it was before prior. So, I need the grips, right? I need the grips. Now, I'm going to show you how to put on this additional piece here. So, let's get into it. Alright, and there you have it. Very easy to do, and it looks so good. Look at this. It looks really good. Too bad it's not articulated, of course, but yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, with that out of the way, everyone, let's get into the final conclusion for Metal Cooler. Alright, as you can see, I did fix the shoulder pad. So, my mistake on that previous one. Damn, look at this figure. It looks so good. And the figure with the shoulder pad now looks even better than before. So, Metal Cooler, is this a figure I would recommend to you? You have to be a serious collector for this figure. You have to be willing to put out that $120 plus. Not everyone is going to do that. I personally will view you as a hardcore collector and one amongst the elite, my friend. So if you did pick this figure up, consider yourself one of the elite collectors in the community. They may release a cheaper version of Metal Cooler. The only thing I can think of that would represent that would be something similar to Mecha Frieza that is coming out next year. Again, a premium Bandai exclusive. However, I don't think that is going to happen. If you look at the track record so far from Tamashii, every movie villain release has been premium Bandai. It started off with Final Form Cooler, then we have Turles, and now we have Metal Cooler. Me personally, I believe Super Android 13 will be the next movie villain that we get from premium Bandai. That being said, I don't think we're going to be getting a Metal Cooler ever again. And if we do, it is going to be from another toy company. So I think it's like Dragon Ball Spirits or Dragon Ball Stars or something like that. You know, they release the cheaper Dragon Ball figures. That's probably where you're going to see your cheaper Metal Cooler in the future. But yeah, that is going to do it for this review. If you haven't seen my legendary Super Saiyan Goku review, go check it out. If you are a fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, go check out my Toto review. Such an awesome release from Tamashii. One of my favorites of the year, including this bad boy right here, Metal Cooler. Thank you all for watching. Happy New Year's. We'll see you in 2024. It's going to be a big year here on Mars. Until next time, peace.